Hello everyone, welcome back to Scandinavian Design 101. I'm Sanna.
I'm Andreas, and we are two Swedes, and we love design. Mm-hmm. The Hungarian architect Marcel Breuer is nowadays best known for his innovative tubular steel furniture developed in the 1920s and during his time as a teacher at the legendary Bauhaus school in Germany. The bulky yet lightweight Wassily chair is probably his most iconic piece, well recognized by design lovers all around the world. But it's a somewhat lesser known fact that Breuer also designed furniture using the groundbreaking material aluminum. Today we will focus on these furniture and not least show you what they looked like. So let's get to it.
As we already mentioned, Breuer was born in Hungary and was active as a teacher and designer in Germany during the 1920s. Inspired by his own Adler bicycle, he soon started developing tubular steel furniture. And even though he didn't design the first ever cantilever chair, he was mainly responsible for their popularity. His time in Germany was for the most part a huge success. But legal conflicts with his main business partner made him lose the patents for most of his tubular steel furniture.
Yeah, that's a shame.
In the fall of 1931, Breuer left Germany. He sublet his apartment and was probably planning on returning at some point. But this would never happen. He spent some time on the road traveling to France as well as Greece and even North Africa in his Ford. Towards the end of 1932, he started spending most of his time in the Swiss town of Zurich, where he got several big commissions. One of these was to totally redesign two von Bedarf furniture stores in Zurich and Basel. The company was selling avant-garde furniture by architects like Charlotte Perriand, Alvar Aalto, and of course Breuer himself. He obviously wanted to give the furniture a suitable modernist surrounding. So soon Breuer was asked to design a range of furniture exclusively for the von Bedarf. Yeah. Among other things, a bookshelf with a frame constructed from tubular steel.
Yes. And parallel with the pieces made from traditional materials, Breuer also developed a range of furniture constructed from more revolutionary materials. And the chrome-plated steel often used was expensive, and Breuer started thinking of using lightweight aluminum instead. Using less expensive tubular steel of smaller dimensions was also an alternative, but this demanded completely new designs. Aluminum is less strong than steel, and the same thing could be said about the low-priced tubular steel. And because of this, traditional cantilever constructions couldn't be used. They simply couldn't hold a sitting person without breaking. A quite complex system of vertical supports had to be inserted to make the chairs strong enough. The development of these new chairs can be seen in two patent documents dated to 1933. And when the structural problems were solved, it was soon obvious that aluminum was in fact superior to steel for several reasons. Aluminum didn't rust, which made expensive chrome plating unnecessary. And a silver-like appearance gave the chairs an exclusive look, and the lightweight made them easier to handle and also less expensive to distribute.
In the fall of 1933, the international competition of the best aluminum chair was held in France. Participants from 14 different countries entered over 200 different designs. And the Bauhaus founder Walter Gropius sat in the jury.
Yeah.
The aim was to promote aluminum as a material for furniture production. Breuer was eager to participate and was highly rewarded. That's nice.
Yeah.
He won first place for his innovative designs and was soon published in a long range of design magazines all over the world. By the time of the exhibition, none of his chairs had reached serial production, but Breuer had already signed contracts with 4 different manufacturers. Embruwerke in Switzerland, L&C Arnold in Germany, Stilclair in France, and A.L. Colombo in Italy. And now let's take a look at the chairs designed by Breuer. This strange-looking chair was produced in small numbers in 32-33 by Sidam in Belgium, but production was soon discontinued. It looks like a standard cantilever chair with 2 extra circular supports inserted as back legs. At the same time, this experimental prototype was developed for Embru in Switzerland. At first glance, it looks like a frame completely made from flat pieces of aluminum, but that's actually an illusion.
Yeah.
Aluminum was hard to weld and couldn't be riveted like steel. Breuer therefore tried combining aluminum with wood when constructing his first designs. In this prototype, the front legs were made from bent wood, while the back support was made from aluminum. This combination of materials would have made the chair cheaper to produce, but it looked way too strange and it never reached production.
No. And soon Breuer came up with the idea on how to create a frame entirely made from aluminum, requiring a minimum of assembly. That was the big issue here. And wide aluminum bands were cast in rectangular shapes, but they were then split into 2 separate pieces only attached to each other at the rear of the base. One half was then bent upwards, creating a backrest, while the other half became the front legs. And this ingenious solution required a minimum of assembly and created a sturdy frame strong enough to support the sitting person.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's really good when it comes to chairs. 4 different upright chairs with matching armchairs were produced. Model 301 was the smallest and cheapest one, with a narrow seat and backrest made from molded plywood. An identical version, but with a seat made from wooden slats, was also available, named 305. The latter was mainly intended to be used outdoors in gardens and so on. Yeah. A somewhat larger chair was the 303 with a caned seat and back, and this model was mainly intended to be used in restaurants and living rooms. And then the largest version was the 307 with the upholstered seat and back, and this model was intended to be used in living rooms as a small easy chair or working chair. And all these upright chairs were similar in their construction, and the consumers were skeptical at best.
They always are.
All necessary extra supports made the design look kind of chaotic and weird, and almost like if too many different elements had been squeezed into too little space. And they were really lightweight for a metal chair, but they looked really heavy and never managed to attract the general public. But Breuer didn't just design upright chairs, soon he also developed a range of resting chairs based on the same design principle, and this turned out to be a great move. In contrast to the smaller chairs, these resting chairs looked way more proportional, and they were actually really comfortable. Just like the side chairs, they were nothing but cantilever chairs with additional supports, and the whole frame was still constructed from 2 continuous pieces of flat aluminum. And it was split in 2, just like on the chairs.
Yeah.
But now Breuer managed to make the armrests an integrated load-bearing part, preventing the chair from collapsing. The resting chair was produced in a short and a long version, and the standard upholstery was textile. But also an outdoor version was available, upholstered in a waterproof textile on which a seat made from wooden slats. So it's a kind of logic outdoor chair, this like a sun chair or.
These aluminum designs were indeed innovative, and Breuer had high hopes for a commercial success.
Yeah.
Sadly, this never happened.
No.
Lack of sales in combination with legal disputes with Breuer's former business partner, Anton Lorenz, halted production.
Yeah.
And the final blow came when aluminum was reserved for military purposes only, when the world prepared before World War II.
Yeah, sadly. And this was our short video about the aluminum chairs by Breuer. Yeah. Hope you found it interesting.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching.
Thank you!